So Jadea's getting geared up, and I'm getting geared up. Right now it's almost 6 o'clock at night, and we're gonna do a night dive with my dive masters, two dive masters, and some of our guests, because we have a lot of guests. This is a working dive shop, so gotta work. But they're doing a night dive. It's hard to say no. There's a lot of different critters, a lot of cool stuff that you don't see during the day, even though it's octopus season. We want to go to a new dive site that we haven't been to on this series. It's called, I named it Rocky's Reef because one of my dive masters named Rocky. His house is there. This is not like no other dive resort goes there. Nobody else goes there. It's not a sanctuary, anything like that. If you've watched the channel long enough, we've been there a while back. But we just kind of explored it. It was insane, so we named it. And I haven't been there in a while, so we're gonna put our camera gear together, get some torches out, and go check it out. It should be good. Alright, I put in my camera together. As usual, I have my video lights from divepro.com. I love these, day, night, whatever. Even at night, I only use one because they're so bright for macro, but they're perfect. I think they're actually really good for macro, even though they're 18,000 lumens, because they're so wide and soft. There's no beam, you know what I mean? Check this out. While our other torches are making a little beam. So these are really good for video. My bag from Scuba Pro. It's fun. It's got a real dive harness. Alright, I gotta get going because there's people. So I got these floats on there because these lights are really heavy and robust. And it makes it a little bit, this whole rig is still a little negatively buoyant, which is what I like. I don't want to, if I let the camera go, I don't want it floating off. I want it to like set, like it's on a tripod, you know? I could rest it on rocks and kind of not even have my hands on it to keep it steady. So I like it a little heavy, so it just sits there. Sometimes I have to lean back and my bubbles, they'll hit here and make the footage shaky. But anyway, I gotta stop talking. I got my camera ready. We're also going to take the Ace Pro 2 down and just try to do some low light videos with the wide angle with the Ace Pro 2. You guys might have saw we did a unboxing and kind of a gear review of the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 in a previous video, but if not, go watch that later. Right now, let's go find some critters on a night dive. These soft corals are beautiful when lit up at night. And of course, on these dives, there's always going to be a hermit crab. I see a lot of mantis shrimp on every dive, but these golden mantis are much more rare and probably my favorite. You can see just how beautiful they are. Now this one was kind of a juvenile, not very big at all, maybe 5 inches long. But this species is actually probably the biggest one I've ever seen. I've seen them up to about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, just massive. And when you're diving around and we see these huge holes, you know there's probably one of them inside somewhere. I really had to look this guy up. I had no idea what the actual name was of this crab, but they're so cute. They're always running around in the shallows, but as soon as they see you, they always dig down and bury themselves in the sand. This is one of my favorites. This is a Donald Duck shrimp. And when I first got to Darwin, I really wanted to see these. I had seen them online or wherever. And on this dive, I actually saw 2 or 3 on the same little stinging hydroid soft coral. Great little find. Snake eels are all over the place. They're always around in the sand, kind of by the garden eels. This little guy was fascinating. I see a lot of types of arrowhead crabs and decorator crabs and spider crabs, but this guy was kind of just sitting there, and there was a lot of plankton attracted by my lights, and he was just trying to grab it out of the water and eat it. And then he finally did catch one tiny little red isopod or whatever that is, and I got to watch him eat it. These guys are fascinating. They're so little and weird and such good camouflage. I love being able to film these guys. There you can see him eating his little red snack. They're usually quite shy, but at night they're more interested in eating. This little frogfish was hanging out, and I think he was using my light as well to catch little snacks. This tiny hairy shrimp is always hard to film. I mean, we're talking the size of a grain of sand, but this one was actually cooperating. If you look closely, you can see that under his tail are some eggs. You can barely see this entire shrimp with the naked eye, let alone the eggs. My guide called me over, and somehow he had found this little baby harlequin shrimp. It was so tiny. Well, not as tiny as the hairy shrimp, but still very tiny. At first I thought it was a spiny tiger shrimp just because of how small it was, but when I got looking in the camera, it was a baby harlequin shrimp. Harlequin shrimp are usually pretty big, and I've never seen one this small, and I have no idea how my spotter found him. It was a really good catch. It's really cool because although I've filmed plenty of the adults, these little tiny ones are super rare. I've never filmed one or even seen one before. I had seen them once when I was filming adults, the same ones for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they had babies, and I just happened to be there when they hatched, but they got into the drift so fast that they just kind of disappeared right away, and I wasn't even able to turn on the camera. So yeah, being able to film this little guy was amazing. It's not the greatest footage, but you can imagine with how small they are and always moving around and jumping around, it wasn't the easiest. If you see an anemone, which you're guaranteed to see an anemone, you're always going to see a porcelain crab hanging out, or maybe multiple ones on that anemone, trying to catch food or just hanging on to the side of that anemone. They're pretty much everywhere. It's just a different thing at night. The lighting's different, it's just a nice little view, and just like all the other ones, I think they're using my light to try to catch more food that's attracted by that light, and I just get better shots at night. And then near the end of the dive, we ran into this giant Spanish dancer. And to be honest, I see these guys a lot these days. And I remember a time when I was living in Egypt for about a year doing a lot of courses, and we would find a Spanish dancer like once every few months, and we were just so happy to see one. And it was kind of like the holy grail. We were just so amazed and posting on Facebook how awesome we were. And now we're seeing them like every night, and it's not a big deal. I almost passed this one up, even though it's an awesome nudibranch. It was about 8 inches long. But then my guide told me that there's some shrimp living on his back. So when I went over there and looked closer, yep, sure enough, there was 3 emperor shrimp living on the back of this guy. And that's a much cooler find. So when you find these Spanish dancer nudibranch, the iconic shots for photographers or videographers are either when they're swimming, you know, out in the black, just swimming at night. They're weird, iconic flapping type swimming. Or getting a shot with them with emperor shrimp on their heads. And tonight, he wasn't swimming, but I saw 3 different emperors. So I don't know about everybody else's experience around here, but I don't really see Spanish dancers during the day. I have no idea where they go. I'm assuming maybe they hide under rocks or crevices or something. But during the day, we do see a lot of ribbons of eggs from Spanish dancers. Those iconic red ribbon that you just know are from a Spanish dancer. So we know there's Spanish dancers all around. You just don't really see them during the day. But then at night, they're there.
I saw an orangutan shrimp.
It's not orangutan shrimp.
It looks like orangutan because of the hairy. So it's hairy orangutan shrimp.
It's a hairy shrimp.
A hairy shrimp.
It was so cool.
You see anything good?
Everything. Like literally everything.
You got your first bobtails, right?
They were so cute.
They were up. I wasn't able to film them. I wasn't able to film them because there was, you know, the surge was right there. I couldn't hold still.
Oh no, I just wanted to stare at their stupid little faces. I love it.
Lots of critters at night,
I
huh?
know. I wish we night dove earlier, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna night dive for the next 3 days.
Every day you should be night diving. I always get a reminder why night dives are the best. That was insane. Saw so many little critters and stuff. I even saw a baby harlequin shrimp. I don't know how he found it, but I was able to get some pretty decent footage, I think. And then the best footage I've ever got of a hairy shrimp. I'm telling you, those things are like this small. I couldn't even see it with my naked eye, and then I turned it on. I think you could even see eggs in the screen. So that was awesome. And then a Spanish dancer that's like this big and has 4 little emperor shrimp on it. I love night dives. We need to just do night dives every day. Awesome day.